What is happening, guys? It's your boy TC back with another video. So we're talking transfer news or transfer rumours, if you like, and the player that we'll be discussing in today's video, will be a player called Christopher Nkunku, who currently plays for PSG. So he's only 21 years old and he's essentially described as a central midfielder. However, extremely versatile, and he can play on either flank, and he looks absolutely exciting. Of course, he's obviously not the finished article, but Arsenal have been strongly linked with him, and reports are coming from the only David that we trust, and that's David Oysteen, who's a prominent BBC reporter who tends to get news on Arsenal transfers extremely spot on and correct. And he's actually come out and says that the reports emerging from France are certainly correct, that Arsenal are in early stage discussions with the winger or the midfielder, if you want to call him that, in order to bring him in on a loan basis, with the option to obviously take him on a permanent basis in the summer. So it seems as if the club is trying to strike these kind of deals, which in turn will obviously make the job easier in the summer in terms of actually bringing in other reinforcements. So if you include that option to buy in the summer, it just means that when we get to the summertime, hopefully we would have got ourselves a couple of good players. If the Denis Suarez deal goes through and the Christopher Nkunku deal goes through, then would mean that we would have actually got ourselves a couple of good players, and we won't need to go out in the market and continue to look. But the only conflict there for me really is the fact that both players can play in similar positions. However, Christopher Nkunku can be played out wide, either on the right or the left, and as I said, he looks absolutely exciting. He's a skillful young player. So he's 21 years old and he's a French international. He has represented France in the lower age groups. However, he hasn't managed to actually break through into the actual French first team. Of course, they've got an array of talent, and the same applies at PSG. But there's a huge point to make in regards to him as a player and what Unai Emery thinks of him as a player. So during Unai Emery's last season at PSG, I think it did actually make him start 27 games, and that was with the whole array of talent that was actually at Unai Emery's disposal. And of course, you do see, based on that alone, what Unai Emery thinks of him. And of course, he is a product of the PSG academy. They do obviously have a good, fantastic academy. Overall, the French do seem to produce a number of good young players. Of course, a lot of them don't make them to the highest level of football, but some of them do certainly break through. So Chris Nkunku is obviously one of those players that we are eyeing. Will he come in and make a difference? We don't know. Of course, we would love him to come in and make a huge difference within the team. But as mentioned, he looks absolutely exciting. I do remember watching him during the pre-season friendlies against PSG as well. At the time, again, I thought, what a fantastic young player this is. So obviously, I haven't kept track of him really since then. But so far this season, since Thomas Tuchel took charge of PSG, his opportunities have been certainly limited. It seems as if Tuchel isn't a big fan of Chris Nkunku, so obviously the door is open for him, it seems, to leave. But there's obviously another twist, which means that PSG needs to bring in reinforcements for him. Of course, they've got a couple of targets that they are supposedly looking at, and if one of these transfers goes through, then that Nkunku transfer to Arsenal will certainly take place. But it seems as if there's a lot of triangles taking place, which is always the case with transfers in terms of making them happen. One player needs to come in and one player can leave. That's how it seems to work. And if you do remember last year, when we were waiting for the Aubameyang transfer to happen, it was all depending on Batshuayi making the move to Dortmund, as well as Giroud making the move to Chelsea. So essentially, that's what's going to happen as well. Hopefully PSG can conjure something up and make something happen within this particular window. There's not a lot of time left. We definitely need to get something done. So of course, those two transfers I've mentioned, Chris Nkunku as well as Denis Suarez, are all hanging in the balance. So fingers crossed we can get either one of those over the line. If we do, I would certainly be happy. Of course, we need more reinforcements. There's a lot of names being thrown around in the hat, but one or two players would be sufficient enough to obviously appease the fans, as well as possibly provide a huge boost to the team. But of course, these stories are continuously developing. But as the time goes on, as the week or the days get less and less to the end of the transfer window, I'll certainly keep you as updated as much as I can. But as usual, guys, please do let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, please do make sure that you do hit that subscribe button. So once again, guys, it's your boy TC from I'm Gonna Talk TV, and I'm out.